Welcome, everybody, to another edition of our driver bio. Today, we have the driver of the 1627, Fernie Padilla. Fernie, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you doing this. You are, I hope this class grows more, and because of you, it could do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're, I brought Brian in, and the two of us were just having a great time. I invited him on. He had some prior engagements that he couldn't quite get away from, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying doing this, and all the racers and you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm losing you.
Do we need to start? Are you there?
No.
Yeah, perfect. So my brother and I, we moved from the 516. We started racing 516. We moved up to 1600 in 08 because we were doing real well, and we're going to take our chances in a 1600 car. Little did we know that what we were getting ourselves into. And I think my first real race against you. And what you brought to the table was that Kingman race that they did, the go-kart track on steroids, really is, and then it was like 2013 in Caliente when you overall in a 1600 race in Caliente. And we'll get more to that, through this thing, but like that's the caliber, I think, of racing and a racer that you are coming to this. It's freaking insane.
I appreciate it. It's that Kingman race was nuts. It was just they put 150 turns in I felt like a 3-acre lot.
A shoebox. Yeah. I was waiting for like the bridge and the crossover, and underneath. So yeah. But what got you into racing? Like, talk about your start.
My grandpa, he's actually my step grandpa, but he's my grandpa. He was one of the original Ball 1000 guys, and he got into it. He got my dad into it, and then my dad just kind of he had that Chanet 16 car that I'm trying to get it back.
Yeah.
He had a high jumper car, and he had 2 cars, and I just go in the garage with him, and he make me clean parts, and I just do that every day and clean parts. That's how I show me how to work on them, and then he said, if your grades are good at school, he's like, you can help you with racing, and so I worked my butt off at school to try to just have decent grades, and then he let me race what we could afford, and I knew how to work on them, and he's like, all right, let's go racing, and started there. Started riding a lot, and I took every opportunity I could to hop in multiple different passenger seats, and I got to ride with a lot of fast people, and it kind of showed me what I needed to do, and started driving after that.
Oh, awesome. About how old were you on your first race?
Oh, I lied about my age and snore. I think they said you had to be 14. At the time, you had to be 14 or 15 to ride and 16 to drive or something like that at the time. And I was 13, and I told him I was 15 and started riding. And been riding, like I said, I started riding with I can't remember. It was a guy named Chaz Sutton. I rode with him. I started riding with him, and then Day Gang, and then I got lucky. I got started riding there in Holly for a couple seasons. And I
Oh,
started ride. I rode pasture with Rob Mack. Because I rode Aaron Holly's ride, I got to ride Kyle Duke. Drove at 16 actually once, and I rode with him.
nice.
And I got to ride a lot of people, Adam Wick, and uh, it was just learning a lot. You learn a lot what to do, and you learn a lot what not to do as well. You see someone do like, "Hey, shit, I did that, buddy."
Yeah. So you're out of the Vegas area because all the names you rattled off was all like the
Yep.
Nevada Vegas crew. Yeah, right on.
I was born in LA, but I've lived in Vegas since I was like 5, and
Okay.
uh, just stayed close. And I got lucky with the Boyers too. They have a good amount of cars, and they were doing a bunch of score seasons. And I was riding with Corey and Rick and Chris Porter, uh, and just learning a lot. You learn a lot in that passenger seat when you're young and
Absolutely.
starting out.
Great bunch of guys the Boyers are. I spent some
Yes.
time talking to them at Rage, and yeah, you'll probably see them on here sooner than later too. So
Good.
yeah,
Good. Good. I think Corey's a good guy to talk to if you ever get a chance to.
yeah,
He won't hold back
yeah.
if you want.
And I think it was that Kingman race. The battle was it you and Brian Freeman and the Boyers that were battling back and forth.
I was that and Bud and I think Kenny Freeman I think was driving,
Okay.
and after that race, I remember Kenny came up to me. He's like, I remember coming around corners and he was cutting across the whole desert, and I was like, man, he's cheating. Like, but I stayed on course, and after the race, he goes, I was cheating and I couldn't catch you. Like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right on. Do you have a preference on which deserts you like to race in? So being a Nevada guy, there's a big difference between the Nevada deserts and like the Southern California deserts.
there there is. I mean, I think I like the Gene area here in Vegas. I do like that. I love Caliente because it's smooth.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, but I love Baja. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got lucky enough that I got to I race still occasionally with the Sanchez team in
Yep.
Ensenada, and I got to do 2 years ago do the Ensenada San Felipe race with them, and
What a
that
great
was just
race.
fun. It was fun. It was definitely it was in June, so it was hot. You start in Ensenada and the weather's beautiful, and then when you got to get to that finish line, I was
Yeah,
I was hurting. It was hot.
right, right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So
It's
is we talked a little bit about the races. What do you claim is like one of your favorite races? What's the one that you're gonna go to all the time?
all the time. I mean, man, if I could afford it, it'd be the Ball 1000 every year.
Yeah.
I've won. I've been very fortunate. I've won. I'm fortunate to win a good amount of races. There's two more that I really want to win, and I want a Ball 1000 win, and I really want that Rage of the River win. But I just it's hard to beat Bud and your
Oh,
brother and Corey. He's got a different package, and then Malloy's got a good setup. And
oh yeah.
there's 8 dudes out there that you got to drive over your head to try to
Yeah.
keep up with them. And
Yeah, I mean, and everything has to go right. I mean, you said you lost your power steering, so now you're the, arm muscle it, and Daniel's seat slider came off and he's like eating the steering wheel or like trying to hold on to it. And,
yep.
you I Bud's an amazing driver. You're right. He's very tough to beat, but you put on a show. I mean, you were right there. It was
I was my day one. Everything went perfect. I run this electric power steering. A lot of people think I'm an idiot for doing it. Hydraulic is better. I'll give you that. But the power difference that I can feel, I can compete at Ridge River and Battle Prim now, but I get more power to the ground.
okay.
Uh, when I did have hydraulic, I was struggling to stay up front, but this like I can feel the power difference. It's about and the steering it does fight you here and there, but when it's working, it works great. It's just the power wire broke this time. After I got home,
I
I was
don't,
I was I was angry. I was angry when you got the finish line, and I was trying to get out. I was just done with it. It's like I'm done with your power steering. It quit, and then I get home and assessed it, and power wire broke off right at the
oh
unit,
man.
and I was like, man, I just probably saw it. If I would have pulled the hood and looked, it probably was about because it broke up as soon as I went to the moon bumps. during quit the first right there. I was like, man, if I would just checked it out, maybe I could have caught it and
Yeah. Yeah, I
able
mean,
to make it
that's
better. But
what if, right? All that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. So
but
let's talk about, and we can get to the Caliente race, but what's like one of your most memorable races?
memorable races. Uh, it's probably. I mean, Caliente. That overall was cool. I didn't. I had no idea that I won overall until I got to the awards and Kenny Freeman to do it. They had first overall. I was like, no way. And a couple of people were like, that can't be right. And I'm like, it's like I can't be right. I didn't. It was one race that I didn't miss a shift. I didn't blow a corner. I stopped for fuel and it was just a perfect day
Yeah.
and ran consistent laps and it ended up getting an overall. That race was fun. Probably I got to ride in the Baja 2000. I was young. I rode with my dad and I rode with him I was in the car for 13 hours and just sitting shotgun with my dad and that was memorable. Crossing the finish line in Cabo was good.
Yeah, I chased Jeremy Spearkoff in his 8S, and I
Oh,
mean
nice.
that whole Baja 2000 is an adventure. It's a whole story by
Oh yeah.
itself. Yeah. So
It was cool to ride. My dad, I was still in high school. My dad, he's like, you're taking 2 weeks off of school. I was like, really? And so I got lucky to
no,
leave
no,
school.
please, no. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. And I
yeah.
got to ride a long time with my dad. And I think I fell asleep in the car at some points too. I was just tired. But yeah, it was cool. Crossed the finish line. My dad handed me a beer. And I was
Oh.
16. Yeah, I remember how old I was. And I got to drink a beer at the finish line with my dad. It was cool.
So if you finished and were you in 13 hours straight? So you
So
did the
I rode because there was four drivers. My dad did the last section. I was planning to ride with my dad, but the co-driver wanted out early from the previous driver, so my dad drove me up north as far until I could get to where the car was
okay.
going to be, and then I hopped in a couple hours early and rode, and then the guy got out. And my dad got in with
Oh,
my dad
nice.
too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And what class was that in?
1600. I've been at
Oh,
1600 for almost a long time. My dad's always had 16s, and I love this class. Of course, if I had the money, I would love to go up, but 16s has been a dependable, and uh, the drivers are just they're great. So, I mean, they Bridge of the River was cool because everybody was clean. I mean, your
yeah,
brother Malloy, uh, we never once tagged each other and got tired. It was just good, clean, fun racing. I
for
like
sure.
that.
So you've been in the class, you've seen the progression through it. I mean, from the single port heads to the dual port heads, right? Then the
Yeah,
micro stubs. How do you feel about the direction of the class and how it's going now? Especially with,
I
so I'm sorry, especially with the side by sides and all the factory backing.
it's tough. UTVs, I think, is obviously the new way to go with 4-wheel drive and uh, just the amount of support that they get. I think that's probably the class right now. 16, I've loved the progression. It's it's been pretty much close to the same for since day one. I feel like since the 80s.
Yeah.
That's what I like. It's been pretty much consistent. Getting rid of drum brakes I love that.
Yep.
Stop. Micro stubs, everything's lasting a lot longer. I love putting pump gas on the gas station and getting my fuel. Uh, I love that. The only thing I wish there was a way to put some. There probably is. I just don't know. To go get fuel injection somehow in this motor because I'm sick of jetting my motor every time I go
Right.
somewhere.
Well, the late 70s VWs had fuel injection on them, so it's not a hard stretch.
Yeah, I
If you can sell them on power steering, which they never had, and micro stubs they never had, I mean, like fuel injection, that's the next, that
it's
and the gearboxes. Those gearboxes are getting so stinking expensive.
they are the class is getting. I mean you're right. I know score just allow any 4H pattern
Hmm.
for 4-speed, but it's just those trannies are a lot heavier than
Yeah,
these bus ones.
15,
I
20
think
pounds. Yeah, 15 to 20 pounds, I think, is what I was
Is that
talking.
what they are?
Yeah, Eric Pavolka, because he has one in his car. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and but he says you can get on them, you can put that thing in reverse and get out. And so there's advantages. I mean, you pretty much have to rework the rear of the car to get them to fit, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're $6,000-7,000 now for a bus box.
It's the class is pricey, but it's I think any class you get into is going to be have its cost.
Yep.
Uh, I'm for it. I love the class. I don't know. I just recently found out that I think TCS closed up. So I mean, I don't know where people are start getting their torsion bars from and stuff eventually. So
Sway
I
away
don't
if they have them, and you
I
just
I don't think the quality of the sway away torsion bars is as good as the 300M stuff from
Mhm.
TCS. I mean, you might not get as many races out of it. So I don't know. I think, and I'm lucky I got a good amount of torsion bars still stacked up. But I mean, I think that's going to be something to look into later, a few
Right.
years from now. But
Yeah,
suspension for torsion bar wise, but
no, but I agree with you. I mean, the progression of the class and keeping it updated has made it a lot of fun. I mean,
yeah,
it really has. And the quality of the drivers, you were talking about how clean everybody was in racing. I mean, really, I think it's always been the draw for this class.
yes,
Yeah.
it is. It was cool. Day two, your brother was on fire and he passed me clean and smoking. And I was like, I'm gonna try and keep up with him. Nope, he was gone.
He we talked a little bit about it at the pit, and he's like, I don't know what to do. I was like, freaking let it go. Let the big dog eat. I mean, it bit him a little bit, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't know I could do that, So, but it's guys. Honestly, it's guys like you that if you don't have people racing like you, pushing you yourself, how do you know? You don't. So,
Oh
good.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
So,
the class. A lot of fast drivers pushing you here.
oh yeah, yeah. So what's one of the craziest things that's ever happened? I mean, this is one of those things. It's like there I was, and then there I wasn't. So
uh geez, a lot of co-driving stuff. But driving wise, uh, I think I raged the river. I cartwheeled the car, and before it landed, because it was still I was in midair cartwheeling. I downshifted and already had the clutch in. So when it landed, if it landed on its wheels, I was ready to go again. And I did, but it just did a 180 because the front arms ripped out of the beam. And
oh,
so, so midair, I was ready downshift. Like if it lands on its wheels, I'm going again. But
right.
it did, but the arms pulled out of the beam.
Was that like through
Uh,
the mean bumps?
it was right before the drop off
Oh,
into that. It was close to there, like a quarter mile before that. I was trying to catch Corey just passed me, and I was right on his tail, trying to keep up with him, and I just lost it.
yeah. Right on.
Yeah, that and Baja stuff. Baja, I get just co-driving a lot and driving down to Mexico and getting stuck in bottlenecks and uh, getting co-driving, getting out and help people get unstuck, and then just gotta be careful down there, but it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, if you're not racing, what kind of races do you like to go to? Do you, I mean, could off-road, rally, drag?
Um, I like to if I get a chance to go. I like those outlaw cars, and they have
Okay.
here in Vegas. Those are just fun. I think those are the badass cars. Other than that, I just think off-road racing is the the best, and I like to go. If I can't race,
Sure.
I like to go watch though.
Um, and then everybody's always got somebody that's helped them along in this. You talked briefly about your dad. Is mentors and heroes in this sport.
Mentor. I mean, there was a lot of guys I look up to in this class. I've been like very fortunate that when I was young and starting out, I would just I one co-driving ride would end, and immediately next day I get a phone call from someone else who wanted me to ride a full season, and then just kept doing that. And I got lucky. I was racing 10 times a year, just co-driving with different people, and I mean the Boyers helped me out a lot. My dad. I got opportunities came up randomly where got to ride in a 10 car and Rob Mack drove. So I rode with Rob Mack in a 10 car out of here for him. And just mentors like that I just learned a lot. I mean, Rob Mack was cool to ride with because he didn't do anything that I didn't think that I could do. He just didn't make any mistakes. He didn't miss a shift. He didn't blow a corner, and he was just smooth. And I was like, I can do that. And then it just,
Right.
and then it just took a while to just okay. As long as you don't blow corners and don't miss no shifts and just drive as hard, consistent. Don't get flat tires. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that's all Rob Mack does. He's just smooth, and that was just cool to watch him do that. And I was like, confidence booster, and it was, I can do that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Outside of the 1600 class, what's another class you like to race in? What's your favorite class outside?
Uh, 16 is obviously my favorite. I'm getting an opportunity with the Sanchez team. They got a 10 car, and I'm gonna get to drive a few races. I think we're gonna shoot for the ball 1000 in the 10 car. 10 cars are fun. I like the way they sound. They're smooth. I love the sequential shifting. It's just different, and I've been driving H patterns. Um, yeah, 10 cars is where, and I love class 12. I wish class 12 would stay big,
Yeah.
but I think it's fading too, and I love beam cars. So 12 would be my favorite. The couple 12 cars I got to drive, I did enjoy it. It just the class isn't big enough, I
Yeah,
think, anymore.
for sure. Sure. So, let's talk about what gets you started in the morning, like your pre-race routine. Like, what does Fernie like to do to get ready?
I like to be alone, so I put my AirPods in, and I listen to music, and especially like Rage the River, where you kind of got to get pumped up, because you got to drive over your head. Uh, the long races, like kind of just relax, because I mean, like Mexico stuff, you're gonna be in the car for 8 hours, 6 8 hours. So you just got to be smooth and know. I kind of pre-run in my head. It's like if Mexico, I try to remember where I know the bad spots are going to be, all the sill beds I'm going to try and avoid. Uh, Rage of the River, I just kind of stick to myself and be quiet and kind of try to slowly get just jacked up, just trying to get some energy flowing through my veins and get ready to go hurt myself. Is what I said. Go through those moon bumps and just try to go as fast as those other guys. And you don't want to; those moon bumps suck, but you got to.
Yeah. Does is your co-driver usually the same person? Or you try and mix it up, or
The longer races, I try to get I try to get a good person in there, someone who's as light as possible for long races, but you also want someone that can change a tire and a little bit knowledgeable about motor stuff or can remember to read a GPS. During the sprint races, I usually have my wife ride with me because
okay?
she enjoys it.
Yeah.
She enjoys it a lot, and but she was pregnant this time, so I had to look for another one. But my wife, she enjoys it. The short races she can handle. The longer races,
Yeah.
uh, she likes to be in the pits and help out. But
Is she
co-driver
part
there.
of she help you out with your pre-race routine when
Yeah, yeah. She
yeah.
makes. I like to have a peanut butter and honey sandwich before I get in the car because
Oh,
it fills me
nice.
up and I don't get hungry for a while. It just kind of blows up in your stomach to where you just
Yeah.
don't feel hungry for a while. And my wife, she always makes me a nice big one before I get in the car,
Oh,
and
excellent.
that holds me for a while.
Right. My grandmother used to make me peanut butter and bacon sandwiches.
Oh,
And
nice.
peanut butter, bacon, peanut butter, honey. Yeah. So I'm sorry you talked about peanut butter and honey, and I was like, oh man, like I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's
So
just filling, and I don't like to when I'm especially longer races. I don't want to. One thing I don't want to worry about. I don't want to think about. Oh man, I'm getting hungry, or I'm thirsty. I try to make sure I drink a ton of water before I get in, and
or the
uh,
evacuation process.
yeah,
That's yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Try to get this. You got
yeah.
to make sure that's not an issue. You don't want to be thinking about
Right.
that stuff. You just want to be focused on driving.
Well, we're gonna kind of wrap this up here, but real quick, like let's tell me some fun facts about Fernie. I see you're wearing a Chiefs shirt, so
I'm from Vegas. I love it here. I got a wife and two kids now. I love football. I love watching football. I love college ball. So I mean, uh, that. I like to have the TV on in the garage, and when I'm working on the race car, I'm watching and just listen to football. I can't watch it all and just turn some wrenches here and there. Um, and I love racing, man. I love 1600s. I hope to keep doing it as long as I can. My I've been very fortunate now. Like my brother is on board helping me out. He's doing most of my prep work now, and I flawless preps, and I enjoy that. He uh is doing so much with the preps that I don't have to worry about it anymore. He's taking that stress out of my life. Having two kids, and it's just hard to get in the garage now.
Yeah. Well, do you have any sponsors that you want to mention?
I got my parents still help me out here and there if there's a big bill that's coming up, and I'm like, dang, I gotta wait. And like, we'll help you out a little bit. So my parents, my wife is a big supporter of me, um, and my brother. My brother, I can't do without my brother. He's taken a lot of the brunt work from me, and he's a good fabricator and good prep guy, and he just does a lot of stuff for me. Yeah, that's about it. Family's
Excellent.
been number one sponsor for us.
Right. Always, always, always.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Fernie, I want to appreciate you coming on and doing
Yeah.
our February bio for us. It's excellent. Very excited to have you on here. And are you going to the Snore 250?
I'll be there. Actually, yeah. I just got the Sanchez, Dylan Sanchez just texted me to ask me to drive half it with him. So yes, I will. I will be at there, and I'm hoping my car. I'm gonna try and race Battle at Prim in my car, and then that's it. That's only two races I got planned right now, and we'll see. I get lucky opportunities fall in my lap here and there, so we'll see from there.
Excellent. All right, Fernie. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you jumping on here, and we'll see you at the race.
You got it. Thank you. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks so much. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.